So this one is the letter that I sent first to Eric Thomas through the booking services. Dear Eric Thomas, I am sending you this letter on behalf of 135 struggling readers at Stambaugh Middle School, Auburndale, Florida. The first day I took over my class, these are the words I heard. I can't read. I am bad. Are you our real teacher? You are going to leave us, miss. Nobody stays to teach us. You'll leave. They all leave. I sat there looking at them, thinking, why would they think I would leave? I just got here. Come to find out later, 30 plus teachers have already left them this year, and it was only September. My students told me they had 3 different subs in a month waiting on me to get there. Teachers leaving was nothing new to them, and unfortunately it continued to be a trend for my students in many of their classes. Abandonment in schools and at home is normal to my students. Every time they came back from training and they had a substitute, my students would say, we thought you quit us. We are bad, we are stupid, and we don't even try, so we thought you left. They worry about me and freak out when I get sick because they are afraid I won't be there. You see, I have a congenital heart disease and get sick often and struggle every day. They see this, but I am always there. I go to work even when I'm very sick because I don't want them to think that I left them. My students are also fragile, and trust is easily lost. It took me months to convince them that I was in it with them to the end, no matter how ugly it got. We were in this together. During this time, I was using conscious discipline and positive behavior support. These are relationship building and behavior skills. I tried everything from playing football, telling my life story, motivational quotes. Nothing was really working. I realized that my students needed more than words and anything I could give them in a 45-minute class period. So I began going to every event they had outside of the classroom. This helped some, but it was a slow, agonizing change, a change that only occurred in a few of my students. On just an everyday Saturday afternoon, I received the video, I Made My Mark, from my dear friend Joe Morelli. This began a defining moment in all of our lives. I promised to show it to my class, and that Monday I did. The impact it had was indescribable. I watched my students light up and excitement hit their faces. They started asking for more videos, asking where I found Eric Thomas, and wanted to know the story behind how I ended up bringing ET into our classroom. They began requesting to send videos to Joe, thanking him for investing in them. My students invested in my friend, someone who they have never met. They asked about how he is doing and asked constantly to show him how they are doing. They want to invest in all of it, but they don't have that hope yet. I saw my kids starting to care. I started Motivational Mondays and tied every video into our reading standards and classroom management. My kids are becoming self-regulating and are changing right in front of my eyes in an ever more positive way. Students that were failing and didn't care began to try. Students that cussed me out began telling students that disrespected me to stop cussing me out. I have students carrying my stuff, holding my door, and completing their work. Fast forward a few months later, they began asking if there was any way that Eric Thomas could come to our school. I told them I would not stop until I found a way, and that we are all in this together, and that they will have to help me make this happen. So here we are. Look, I know that you get tons of requests to come to schools that may be far more desperate and worse than ours. We are not a typical inner city school. We are a small town, low-income school, but we are in desperate need as a big city school. So many of them are still struggling to see the light on the other side of their circumstances. My students battle with similar childhood traumas and trials as my friend Joe and I at that age. This makes both of us feel personally invested in their lives. I have 135 of almost 1,200 student body senses. Our school needs Eric Thomas. My kids are my why. These children struggle with poverty, homelessness, single-parent households, foster care, drugs, alcohol, possible abuse, and some have juvenile criminal backgrounds. My students feel that they are the forgotten ones, the unwanted, unworthy. We have over half of our student body in an intensive reading class because most of our students are not reading on grade level. For the first time, I am seeing hope and want to offer them something that goes beyond them. They say they need Eric Thomas, and I plan on doing whatever it takes to make this happen for them. I have already gotten the permission of our principal to seek you out. Whatever it takes, we, my students, Joe and I, will do it. God bless.